The more you research and do your homework on the cycles of money and currencies throughout the history of humanity, you can perfectly understand exactly where we are in today's times. Eventually, every country that has a major currency that is a reserve world currency, they debase the currency, which means they take it to zero and it becomes basically worthless. It happened plenty of times across, you know, a lot of different republics and empires over the past couple of thousands of years. And why should the United States be any different? The cycle usually is you get inflation, period of deflation, sound familiar? And then bang.
Hi, everyone. Welcome back to Twin Shores Financial Biweekly Market Updates, where we share what we're seeing in the traditional and digital markets. I'm Alex Kaminer, the host, here with Tim Nihill, our founder and CEO, and Alex Krieger, our digital markets analyst. We will be talking about today's big topics like the upcoming debt crisis that is possibly happening by June 1st. We'll see. We've been talking about this a lot, but we'll see what happens. And then we're also going to talk about the crypto markets and a potential huge problem for one of the biggest companies in crypto, which is Ledger. So if you wait, you'll hear about that. As a reminder, please like, share, subscribe, comment below any questions that you might have. Tim, off to you.
Awesome. Welcome, everyone. Happy, Tuesday today, I think? Sometimes the days all blend together. Yeah, not a lot going on in the traditional markets. It's been pretty quiet. Lots of red across the board in different sectors. And these are the days where, we like our real assets, especially our income producing assets that are paying us no matter what the market does. So always good to own some Dunkin' Donuts and Pizza Huts and all that stuff. So real estate single family side's doing well, multifamily's doing well. So these are the types of markets where if you don't have those allocations, you better start to look to find them. Big news on the horizon, I guess, is this debt ceiling standoff. From our perspective, probably not going to be a problem because we've all seen the estimates where the national debt's going to 51 trillion. So I'm pretty sure that debt ceiling is getting raised. I actually watched a really good video today on with Peter Schiff and was it Jordan Peterson? Right, his first name Jordan.
Yes.
Where they really talked about the details of what's going on. And I mean, the basic lie was if you're a politician, in order to be a politician, you're a liar. And that's why all attorneys become politicians, because they're great at lying. It was pretty entertaining. But when you really start to look at the reality of what is truly going on, there's a sovereign debt crisis in the United States and across the world. And everybody's currencies are basically dirty laundry. I just think of it this way. The more you research and do your homework on the cycles of money and currencies throughout the history of humanity, you can perfectly understand exactly where we are in today's times. Eventually, every country that has a major currency that is a reserve world currency, they debase the currency, which means they take it to zero and it becomes basically worthless. It happened plenty of times across a lot of different republics and empires over the past couple of thousands of years. And why should the United States be any different? The cycle usually is you get inflation, period of deflation, sound familiar? And then bang, you hit hyperinflation. So a lot of this stuff we're going to see play out this summer into the end of the fall, winter, and into next year. And we're just saying, listen, the puck in the money game is moving. Everything is moving away from Wall Street, financial assets, financial engineering. We're all coming to realize exactly how engineered these markets are. And I think there's going to be a reality check where money goes back to private. Private credit's a massive opportunity. As you see, the banks are struggling, and we're going to have more bank struggles. As Yellen would say, all is well, all is not well. So there's going to be more pain points in the banking system. And probably gonna see what shakes out with this debt ceiling. But at some point, maybe you get a couple rate hikes, but at some point they're gonna start or stop hiking rates. And then depending on what the pain points are gonna be in real estate, equity markets, bond markets, and all that other good stuff, we wouldn't be surprised to see quantitative easing again, and probably at a massive level. So history does tend to repeat itself. The other thing I think that's really important is, well, everyone's like, well, it's US dollar is the strongest in the world. That doesn't matter when your citizenship loses faith in their currency. And you can already see the cracks happening. There's a massive amount of money going from banks into money markets, which are, a lot of them are yielding 4 or 5%. And if you sit and watch, not what they're doing on mainstream news, but what people are out there talking on the different social media channels, Americans are losing faith in the US dollar. So once that happens, that's your currency crisis, and a major shift is underway. So that's the update for today. But like we said, as much as this is a transition, it's a massive, massive opportunity. Single family rentals are going to be a massive opportunity going forward. We think the commodity cycle is going to boom. It's going to take some time to play out, but you're going to see a lot of that start to take off and perform pretty well. And if you're in the right spots, there's a good chance you can generate some good returns, and more importantly, I would say significantly increase your net worth as we watch about $96 trillion transition from the silent generation and baby boomers to Gen Xers, millennials, and Gen Zers.
We've been talking a lot about the last few market updates about the upcoming default on the debt, and it's not something that is super fun to talk about, but when it's the only thing in the news lately, it's hard not to. So let's just, since it'll be past June 1st, the next time we do a market update, let's just talk quickly about that. I feel like we would have found a solution by now if we weren't going to default on our debt. Or do we think that they're purposely bringing it down to the wire, and then we'll just find a solution the day of or the day before?
It's going to go down to the wire. Well, here's the interesting thing. Usually it goes down to the wire, but there is this probability that it's going to happen. And this time, I think a little bit more than in previous years, just because of some of the dynamics that are playing out, both from a global perspective and then from a political perspective here at home. If they default, it would not surprise me. But the ramifications of that are probably going to be pretty credible.
Well, you heard what Biden said, right? The other day, he says he's not coming back to talks about the debt ceiling. There's no deal with wealthy tax cheats and crypto traders.
Well, that's a bunch of crap, because people that own crypto are actually your blue collar, middle class, and white collar people,
and pay their taxes.
Right. And let's just take that off the table. The issue with the crypto side of things is Bitcoin is the only escape valve for Americans. It's it. If they keep running the program as they are and all this stuff plays out, it's the only way that Americans can get their money out of the system. Right? Because, I mean, we're talking about bank freezing your deposits. So if you go to your bank and you need to pay your bills in 3 months, you may not be able to. And it's already happened at First Republic. It's already happened at Silicon Valley, right? And, there's a lot of talk about that potentially happening. So the reason crypto is hated has nothing to do with, money launderers, because we already know HSBC, JP Morgan, all these people are the biggest money launderers in the world through the traditional banking system. It has to do with, it's an escape valve for Americans, because if they do default, they're going to shut down deposits at banks, because people are going to be running as far away from the US dollar as possible, and think about the ramifications of that.
What's interesting is, with so many things in the news about finance these days, we're seeing, and this is a change in topic, but we're seeing a lot of young people moving towards finance jobs, as like tech, for example, is cutting 200,000 jobs. Do we think that having this influx of young people in the finance industry is going to affect anything? And if so, in what way?
Oh, I think it's great. I love the fact that next generation is getting into finance.
The way I've seen it play out is there was a big gap of people who just did not want anything to do with finance, let alone work in the industry. And now we're seeing it's almost like a cycle again. Where,
Well, would you think it's because of tech, right?
I think
The older people in finance don't understand how to use the new technology coming out, so therefore they need younger generation workers that know computers.
I think finance is becoming tech now. Finance is technology. Look at where everyone's getting their information from, right? You have Discord, Rumble, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok. Younger people are getting more savvy about finance because they're probably, quite frankly, done with being broke, right? Call out the baby boomers, man. They said at every table I'm at. They said it again this weekend when I was hanging out with friends. And they just sit there. They're like, yeah, we kind of effed up the world. This is the exact line from my buddy. Yeah, we fucked up the world. And, now you guys have to go fix it. So there's a lot of unwinding that's going to happen. And now you're in a situation where across the world and even here, the younger people are now inheriting all the assets. We're watching a massive wealth transfer. The biggest question is how much is the U.S. government going to try to steal? And that's exactly what's happening if you pay attention to the new rules and regulations on the estate planning side. And they're going to try to get their hands on every dollar so the younger generation can continue to be burdened by massive, massive school debt. And they're going to continue to try to get people to buy into this whole, oh, you should work till you're 75. Well, that story doesn't work. I think it's awesome that the younger generations are becoming savvy about their finances. In fact, everybody should be. And I think that's where technology has completely changed the game. And if you look at what's happened with AMC and the Reddit groups, it wasn't too long ago before they were taking down hedge funds. And if the United States goes back to the money printer machine, guess what? The Reddit groups are going to get a whole new pile of money.
right. It's interesting.
What our $1,400 checks that we get while they print trillions and give it to all their buddies on Wall Street?
Yeah, they're not going to be able to this time. It has to go to everybody. If you look at, what is it, the shadow statistics, the government shadow statistics, real inflation is actually 9 and 10% right now. It's not at 4%, and it's not going to get better. Prices are not going to go down.
I think the way that tech boomed in the last 20 years, we're going to see a lot of innovation coming into finance, and the way things are done are going to shift all over again in the finance industry.
Right. And all you have to do is pay attention to your day to day, right? If you have baby boomers that can't afford their retirements now and they start having to dip into their assets, guess what one of their biggest asset is? They have to cash in on their home. I wouldn't be surprised to see the real estate market get flooded with homes in the next 2 to 3 years. And the problem is there are no buyers.
Right.
Not a lot of buyers out there.
Not at these prices, at least, and interest rates.
That's why if you watch, the big firms like Apollo have a massive balance sheet of cash, and they are buying up communities because the future is actually single family rentals. I don't want to own a house if I have to be locked into a mortgage for 30 years. And then on top of that, I have to take care of the thing. I have a pain.
Yeah, I learned that lesson being a homeowner this week.
There you go.
New AC, new garage door, bunch of baloney. Right. Unexpected charges coming in.
There's always
yeah, and I've seen and heard that debt ceiling due to some tax revenue coming in may kick it down the road for 3 to 4 weeks into July. So we shall see.
I heard they're doing I was reading something. Rocket Mortgage wants to do as low as 1% down payment.
Yep. For lower than home.
Yeah.
Yep.
Are they just going to repackage those kind of like 08 and then kick it down the road for a few years and then I have all those 1% down payment securities.
Probably. But I think they're seeing the writing on the wall. If and it, I've been looking at and paying attention to Florida on the West Coast where we are, and even up in New England, and all of a sudden there are a lot more red dark dots that are starting to pop up. Shoot, I drove down looking at a house just for fun today. I saw 3 abandoned homes.
What do you mean abandoned?
Their people are already moved out.
Yeah, my house next to me, the owners moved out and it's up for sale.
Yep. No one's there. And one you could tell it's probably no one's lived there for probably at least 6 months. Another one across the street has the moving pods in front of the garage. And the one next to that, it didn't have anyone in the house either. So it's very interesting to see what's going on.
Yeah, I would agree.
Well, moving off of that topic, let's head into the crypto markets. And I know it's been a little bit slow on all fronts, but we did have some interesting news coming out of the crypto industry with Ledger. So why don't you describe or tell people what exactly Ledger is, Alex, and then tell us what happened there.
Ledger is a nano ledger. This baby right. Oh, I can't get it. Nano ledger right here. They are hardware wallets, so you can keep your coins off of exchanges. And like you always hear me say, not your keys, not your coins. Makes me really nervous reading and hearing about this. But if you use their service of Ledger Recovery, they ship your private key to 3 different institutions or custodians that will hold different parts or phrases of your key. So if you ever lose it, you can go back to the ledger and they will recover everything for you through the seed phrases and going back. That service costs like $9.99 a month. So they were saying if you use that service, the government can subpoena Ledger to get access, a backdoor into and get your crypto.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So, but if you don't use the service, apparently, and you opted out and you keep your seed phrase properly stored offline and off of your computer, then you should have no problem whatsoever. And there is no backdoor. Now, how true is that? If there's one backdoor to get into it, you know what I mean? From my previous experience, there's always a backdoor. So it'll be interesting to see as it plays out more and more, as more information unfolds, to see how it all works and whatnot. I will say I still use a Ledger. Just don't give them your seed phrase and don't pay what $9.99 a month.
Yeah.
So almost $130 a year. Twitter's been going ape shit over all this. Like I've never seen so many people attack Ledger and going back and forth over something that we barely know enough information about, right? It's a he said, she said stuff, and it's been a slow month for crypto. We did hit for Ether and BTC this month. We did hit 30 in 2000, right? I think that's due to the event last week, BTC conference, and I personally think you could see a shift, right, in the next couple of weeks with the debt ceiling crisis going on. I know the U.S. government had something 200,000 BTC that they're going to be selling over the course of this year. So if they need the cash, what makes you think they won't sell it next month for the debt ceiling crisis?
Possibility. They're also sitting on a lot of gold.
What, the 88,000 tons or whatever?
Yeah.
Where's the audit for that? I want to see this gold. There hasn't been one since the 70s. So you tell me you got it, and I see all the charts that say we have all this gold, but where's the audit? They want to do that for crypto exchanges, right? I think they need to have an audit as well.
Yeah, I think the other thing that people haven't been talking about is the Federal Accounting Standards Board has issued proposals on crypto accounting and disclosures. So there's definitely some progress being made behind the scenes. And then as much as the SEC can claim what's a security and what's not, they actually don't have that authority. I don't think many people understand that. It's up to Congress.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point, we'll probably get some movement there, but we shall see.
Well, I don't think it happens this year. I think they're going to kick the can down the road till whatever happens, right? That's my personal opinion on it. Like, I think the way they've been acting for the past couple of years about it, right? It just seems like they prolong it, don't give you what information these companies need to do it legally and set up and be in compliance, and they just keep kicking the can down the road till they all leave.
Well, I know I'm starting to hear a lot more rumbles about everybody who's in on things is, oh yeah, I own crypto, I own Bitcoin.
I think that's everything that we wanted to talk about today. Great.
Yep.
Well, on behalf of Twin Shores Financial, thank you all for tuning in. If you enjoyed and want to keep up to date on the markets, please tune in every other Thursday for all of your financial information. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And if you have any questions or comments, please don't hesitate to put them down below. And just a small little announcement. Next week, we will be releasing our first of 10 of our Twin Shores Financial Freedom podcast. So please make sure to tune in for that. Should be fun, exciting. It's going to basically be all about how you as an individual can make yourself more financially free so you don't have to worry about your finances in the future.
Amen to that.
Tim, Alex, got any last words for the people?
We shall see.
Not your keys, not your coins, people.